So you know that feeling. So imagine if it's some snoring around on top of that. You trying to sleep in that joint, your stomach is touching, and you hear. See, all you want to do is laugh. That's why I don't tell you nothing, because you just like laughing.
But look,
this is real life. This is real life stuff.
That's the crazy thing about it though is like it be pitch black dark, and y'all just be talking.
Yeah,
and then you just hear that sound.
Yes.
Come out. Out of nowhere.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
man.
Tell us about your last experience with that, like on a little trip. Like was the person like compliant? Like
when we just went down out of town, as we were telling you guys about, we got some real good content for you guys again. I ain't gonna let the cat out the bag, but stay tuned. But we went out of town the other day, a couple days. I had one of my good nephews in there with me. Good nephew. I couldn't believe this. They both tricked me, the uncle and the nephew. You know, we got a two bed joint. You know, we men. You know what I mean? I'm in there on the phone. I'm in there with my old lady. You know I'm a love bug. I'm on the phone. He over on his phone. He young. He ain't got no girl to talk to. He on Instagram and all that shit. He young boy. Yeah, man. So he over there. I keep seeing the little lights on his. Yeah, man. I might roll over or something. You know how you be wiggling your toes on the bed. I'm like, baby, I love you. We gonna get this money. You know how it be, baby. We get you that big old house you wanted, man. Just give me a minute. I'm talking about, yeah, man. Next thing I know, I hear a light one at first. It stopped. I might hear it a minute later. Stop. I'm like, all right, he got a little joint going on, but he cool. Me, I'm up. Yeah, baby, you mean? I'm painting a bunch of pictures. Call me Picasso. I'm in there like, yeah, you mean? What you like, that G-Wagon? It's coming. I'm in there talking my talk. As I'm in my back towards my nephew at the time. Next thing I hear is a long one. I stopped. Hold on, baby. And I ain't had that. She's like, what was that? That was you. I'm like, what was that? I said, dang, hold up. Yeah, I stopped. I look back. I'm like, but he stopped. But this is the loudest I heard him thus far.
That's the introduction. Excuse me.
So I'm like, maybe he was turned to sideways or trying to do something sideways or whatnot. And after that, the tyrant began. He got crazy. Everything got out of pocket. It got out of hand. It got out of control. And it was bad. It was bad. And then not only was it bad, I had to do it again another night. So I knew what I was involved for. His uncle, me and him went to the pay booth to get the hotels. Yeah, give me one bed and give me another room with 2 beds. So I'm looking at him. I just know we gonna share this load. I had it last night.
Not on duty. Not on duty.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I know. So I'm like, damn, I know we gonna share this load. And I'm like, damn, man, that's crazy. You gonna take nephew tonight, but that's what's up. He like, no. I ain't never say that. I said, but that like this my nephew through street and this his nephew through blood. I'm like, no, but he need to talk to you because there's some things y'all need to talk. He like, no, I got to talk to my wives. I said, hold up, you could. And so I ultimately at the end of the day, I had to go in there with him again. And that second night, I didn't get a minute of sleep. A minute. Because we couldn't sleep that long anyway because we had to be up at 5 in the morning. We got in there about 11 o'clock. So you had to be back right back up at 5 to go to the hotel, go to the airport. So from 11 to 5, I'm up. I'm looking at the joint. I'm slapping his bed. He don't even wake up from this. I'm doing this. He getting loud. The harder I hit, the louder he get. I'm like, I'm on the street. I'm like, yeah. Next time we fly out, we either leaving him or we got an understanding that he will not be in the room with me.
Yeah.
And that's just it.
But yeah, that's enough, yo, man. So the snoring aspect is devastating, especially because, like I said, when you're in prison and you're in a cell with somebody, you can't move around. You can't get away from it.
You can't. You're not going to get away from it. You're not.
Wow, man.
That's a real live fact in the feds, man. Hey, bro, how you feel with somebody sleeping in the cell with you that snore? Like, do he gotta go? You got immediately, bro. It ain't no playing around with that. Like, listen, bro, I ain't know you do that, which is cool, but you can't do that in here.
So let's say Describe a conversation like something like just like
I'm describing because now once 2-3 days go past and now I'm seeing the full effect of it, I'm breaking you the news like, listen, bro, no disrespect to you or nothing because this is a natural problem that comes from natural causes, but I can't live in here with that. So what I suggest
he like what? He like what?
with the snoring, I can't. You sleeping good, I can't get no sleep. You well rested. I'm tired. I can't even go to work today. I feel like I got jet lag. I'm well over the. You know what I mean? So with this being said, them talks go on 1,000 times in
So
jail.
what if
Bro.
he say, look, you sleep on the day and I sleep on the night?
No, somebody got to go. That's gonna be the fight. Gonna be even harder then, if he was to say that, because you playing with me now. You sleep during the day. Ain't nobody sleeping the day with the doors open. We at work and stuff like that, working out and all that. What you mean sleep during the day?
Nobody sleep on the day in jail.
I have took naps, but it's very seldom you see dudes taking naps. Like, you have gang members that beat other gang members. It's called gang members have to be physically intact. Like they got PT, meaning everybody got to go out to the rec yard and get at least an hour to 2 hours in of physical training, working out. Your cell gang members, they don't play that bad hygiene. If your hygiene is bad, they beating you up. The respect level, like I said, is on a building, a super billion. So that's how I go, man. It's rules, man. It's a whole lot of rules that everybody in jail will abide to. Not just some, everybody. Everybody. And snoring, that's not a rule. That's not a rule. But that could be an altercation. 9 out of 10 is an altercation. You come in the cell with me, I might like, damn, bro, where you from? You might got good paperwork. All right, cool, you in here. 2-3 nights go past and you snore, nigga gonna tell you in the morning, like, yo, listen, man, you thorough and all that, you cool, man. We can kick it out on the block, out on the track, all that, but you gotta get out of here. You gotta go to the police and tell them you need to move. I had the cell first. You got the rule.
Well, if there's no cells though, we gotta go to the whole.
Oh, no, if there's no cells available, then we gotta wait till one come open.
So you gotta suffer.
Yeah.
You gotta suffer.
Yeah, you suffer. So, yep.
It's like what Call said.
Yep.
Wow. Man, stay free. Because you see how snoring can make your bid heavy.
I got a couple topics, man, a couple things that I've seen, man. That's worldly news, man, about people getting arrested and stuff like that. That's going on every day, man, at an alarming rate. It's not going to stop, man. That's why we are here to try to give you some caution. Again, we don't glamorize jail, man. We don't sit up here to tell you jail stories like this is something cool. This is embarrassing. It's degrading. It's horrible. It's horrible. Everything that's worse that you can think of, that's what jail is. And this is why we bring it to you where you can say, damn, if you're doing something that can lean you there, you can possibly be like, no, I ain't doing that because I don't want to be a part of what's next if I don't die. So this is why we bring it to you. But I found some disturbing things, man. Very disturbing things that's been going on in the world, Tawfiq. And I want to mention some of them.
Okay, let's go.
So first and foremost, we have a father, right, accused. We have a father, did you hear about it? We have a father accused of stabbing his infant in the abdomen.
Abdomen? Stomach?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
A father, like, accused, man, like, you stabbed your infant in the stomach. Stabbed him.
Killed him?
No, he didn't kill him. The infant lived, but they arrested the father. The father talking about he got some things to say or why he did it.
An infant?
Yes, an infant.
Yeah. How old was the child?
The child they're not really saying how old was this to say. Father who stabbed baby said it was part of God's plan, officials say. You know what I'm saying? They say that investigators said Phillips was with his wife and their 3-month-old child in the bedroom of their home at Millview Apartments on the 200 block of Smithbridge Drive in Coatesville on Wednesday, February 12th.
Oh, wow.
Around 11:30 a.m. While they were in the bedroom, Phillips stared at his wife as she held their child and made comments about having to sacrifice the baby, according to the criminal complaint. Phillips then approached the baby and stabbed the child in the abdomen, investigators said. Phillips tried to stab the child multiple times, but his wife ran out of the home with her baby as well as her 9-year-old son, according to the criminal complaint. Philip's wife told her oldest son to run and get someone to call 911. Investigators